YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with yet another episode of Top of the Morning. Episode 11. It is currently 11 a.m. As you can tell, we're a little bit late, but I'll be honest again. I am trying to strategically plan these. Like, I don't want to just come on here and free ball and just off the top of my head talk. I want to be able to have topic to talk about. Like, it doesn't just have to be football; it can be anything. And I'm starting to learn and trying to learn how to start being able to do that. So that's why I came on late today, is because I really couldn't find anything to talk about. But we do have a couple things to talk about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to opening statements. So opening statements begins with a weather check. Here in the DMV, it is 51 degrees outside and it is cloudy. Pretty solid morning. Okay. Not too much news going on this morning. NFL wise, teams are starting to practice. Things are starting to shaping up. Team USA wins versus Iran 1-0. And I'm not a big soccer fan. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I am not the biggest soccer fan. But every time the World Cup happens, just because it happens so rare, so it a lot of people like me are going to watch. Anytime the World Cup is on and it happens every 4 years, I'm going to support Team USA because that's where I'm from, right? And I was juiced for this matchup because it's like win or go home. Like if Team USA lost or they tied 1-1, 0-0, whatever the score may be, if it was both tied, Iran advances to the knockout round and we go home because we tied with Wales, we tied with England, who a lot of people thought we were going to lose to, by the way. We actually tied with them, and then we end up beating Iran. Christian Pulisic, rather. His name's always tricky with me. Hit the game-winning goal. He hit the game-winning goal somewhat middle to early part of the game, and he got hurt on that play. But the guy, he's good, man. I like Tyler Adams. Okay, I like Turner, the goalkeeper, one of the better ones in the tournament. I think they have a nice squad. I do think sometimes Team USA, their lack of experience shows, especially when they have opportunities down to score. They tend to fold. And you got a 2-0 Netherlands team that we have to face on Saturday, which could definitely be tough. I mean, they're 2-0, and I'm pretty sure we're the underdogs. But it was great to see them win. Soccer is not that big over here in America. As you can hear, I'm calling it soccer, and I know that's a controversial name, but in America, it's called soccer, and that's why when we won, we had a shirt under his jersey that said, "It's called soccer." Let's see if I can actually pull it up here and show the people that's watching live what I'm talking about here. That was a nice, funny little shirt that he had on after we won yesterday. Let's go ahead and show this right quick here. But overall, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would never become like a huge soccer fan just because I feel like it's so much to keep up with. Like, I feel like it's just too many leagues. It's so many teams and players to keep up with. I don't think I would ever do a good job at it. But anytime the World Cup is on, I'm always going to support Team USA. I'm always going to know the players and learn the players, But It's called soccer, and that it is. So it's definitely fun. I hope we can keep this up. I hope we can actually somehow beat Netherlands. That would be amazing. But who knows? Maybe I stream that game on Saturday just to see what happens. But enough of that. Let's go to American football. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the NFC, just specifically just because that's where my favorite team resides. And we're going to take a deep dive into the NFC. I don't know how long I plan on being on, okay? But we're going to take a deep dive into the NFC to see where teams stand, see where teams sit, see teams' upcoming schedules, to see how the Washington Commanders, or just your team, if you're not a Commanders fan, face. If you're on the inside, how can you remain at one of the seeds? If you're on the outside looking in, what do you have to do to possibly not only get a wild card spot if you can't, but can you still win your division? So let's go ahead and take a deep dive into the NFC playoff picture because it's week 13. Okay, we got 5 games, still counting this game. We got 5 games left. Season is winding down, and that's sad, bro. I swear it is, because every year we get so juiced up for the NFL season to get here. It takes forever to get here, but then when it finally does get here, it goes by so fast. Like, I don't know. It's definitely sad. But however, it's still a lot of football left because we're headed into week 13. We got a solid game tomorrow, Bills and Patriots. But let's go ahead and take a look at the NFC playoff picture and basically explain what we're looking at and what do teams that are in it or on the outside looking in have to do to get a berth. So let's go ahead and take a look. Obviously, if you're watching live, you'll be able to see. But if you're not watching live, you'll be able to comment and and tell me what you think, or you can just listen to the podcast version. I'll do a good job of explaining it. So, as you can see, we have the NFC playoff picture here. Not going to worry about the AFC today. We'll do that another day. NFC playoff picture. Number 1 seed, you still got the Eagles. Okay? They're coming off of a dominant win versus the Green Bay Packers. Okay? It was a really solid game from the Packers. They tried, but the Eagles just had a historic rushing night, rushing for over 363 yards on the ground. Jalen Hurts had over 100 yards in the first quarter. It was a crazy day from them, right? Miles Sanders putting up 13 or 31 fantasy points. Crazy. They're still the 1 seed. And more likely than not, they'll probably finish the 1 seed because, as you'll see, we'll also look at these teams' schedules. So let's go ahead and pull up the Eagles' schedule and just look at what their remaining games look like to give you guys a better overlook of what these teams have coming up in store, right? So as you can see here, the Eagles have their next few games. Their schedule looks like this, okay? Let's go ahead and show what we're looking at here. All right, Eagles, their next few games is this Sunday at home versus the Titans. Okay, and that could be a good game. As we've seen with the Titans, though, if they get shut down on the ground, they really can't do much. And with Adam Limbaugh, Joseph, and Ndamukong too, that pretty much helped out the Eagles rushing defense, because that was their biggest weakness. So I mean, I could very well see the Eagles losing this game, but I think they'll do a good job of containing Derrick Henry. So that's 11-1. The Giants are derailing. I think they beat the Giants. They're 12-1. I think they beat the Bears. That's 13-1. I think they may lose to the Cowboys here, because they beat them earlier with no Dak, and I think with Dak back, that gives the Cowboys obviously a better shot. So I definitely think they lose to the Cowboys there. It was that 13-2, and then I think they beat the Saints 14-2. And then I think they beat the Giants again. So I think the Eagles will finish 15-2, and that's more likely than not going to be enough for first place in the NFC, and they'll get that first round bye. And again, it's no shocker because I mean this is the last unbeaten team. They still have the best record in football. They've been good all year, so it doesn't shock me that the Eagles get the number one seed. I only see them losing one more game the rest of the way. Then you go to the 2 seed. You have the Minnesota Vikings. They're sitting at 9-2, and they're on the Eagles' heels. Okay, the Eagles obviously had them by a full game because not only are they 10-1 and the Vikings are 9-2, but obviously, as we know, the Eagles beat the Vikings in their head-to-head matchup early on in the season. So the Vikings are 9-2. However, they're very beatable as we see. Okay, they very well could have lost to the Patriots if that Hunter Henry thing didn't get called back and just other things went the Patriots where they very well could have lost. They could have lost to Washington. Okay, and you can argue that they could have lost to anybody that they've played. Every game that they've played in has been decided by one possession. So yeah, they're 9-2. They're still good. Okay, they're leading the NFC North, but they're very beatable. So with that being said, they got the Jets coming up. Okay, and the Jets are playing way better on offense with Mike White. As we know, that defense has been playing well all year, but the quarterback position has just been hampering them. And with getting better play out of the quarterback position, the Jets could be really dangerous. They could very well get a playoff berth. I think they have a good chance to beat the Vikings. Now it's all about, are they going to be able to outscore them? I don't think so. I think Mike White had a good day versus the Bears. However, I don't think they're going to be able to outscore the Vikings. The Vikings, their offense is amazing. Obviously, I have no thought in my brain that the Jets won't make timely stops. The Jets defense will make stops at times. However, when those times where they don't, because we all know defenses are going to give up stuff. It happens. It's football. No one's perfect. So those times when the Jets defense does give up points, will the Jets offense be able to match and respond? Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully Mike White is just him, and he's just the next big thing. But something tells me I'm not. So I think the Vikings win that game. They go to 10-2. Then you got this Lions game in Detroit. Okay, as we know, earlier in the season, Detroit had these guys on the ropes, and they let them get away. Detroit very well could have beat the Bills on Thanksgiving. So they're playing some solid football. Okay, and this is a division rival, so it's not just no walk in the park for the Vikings. And I know we have time to get to that, but I can see them losing that game. I think they probably lose that game. So they're 10-2 because I think they beat the Jets. Okay, and then they go 10-3 because I think the Lions beat them. I think they beat the Colts. So that's 11-3. I think they beat the Giants. That's 12-3. Okay, I think Jordan Love will be playing by this time, so I think he'll probably look good. But I think the Vikings will more likely to not win that game. Or who knows? They could be resting their starters these final 2 games, honestly, because they'll have their playoff berth locked up. So, I mean, I really don't know. But I'm just gonna go with the notion that the Vikings wins this game, and then they finish out the season beating the Bears. So I definitely think they'll probably finish the season on probably, let's say, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 wins. Probably 14-3 is where I have them. I only see them probably realistically. They could lose all of these games knowing them, and the Jets could possibly beat them, which I'm pulling for. So, although I got them finishing at 14-3, they could very well finish 13-4, 12-5. But I think they'll go. I think they'll go 14-3. They'll only lose. They'll lose one more on the season. That'll be to the Lions. Then you go back over to the playoff picture. How about the 49ers, bro? 49ers just a couple weeks ago were just on the outside looking in. They were just a 7 seed, okay? And now they're as high as the 3 seed, okay? The 49ers are as high as the 3 seed. And they're playing really good football right now. That defense has outscored their opponents 57-0 since week 8. They haven't allowed a single point in the second half. Isn't that crazy? So let's go ahead and take a look at the 49ers schedule, because this is a dangerous team. This is a dangerous team, the 49ers are. And with them having my Commanders up and coming, I'm not even going to give a prediction on that game until that weeks come. I'm just going to say it's going to be a good game. But they got the Dolphins coming up, right? At home, 4:05. This is going to be a really good game. I think I was one that was like, why isn't this game on prime time? I think this was the matchup I was talking about. Or I could have been talking about another game. Because I'm like, nobody wants to see Cowboys and Colts on Sunday Night Football, but I'm like, it's the Cowboys. They're like the prime time juggernaut. So they're not gonna flex that game out. And this game is gonna be a good one. Okay, you got one of the, if not the best offenses in football going up against probably the best defense in football. I mean, shoot, when you don't allow a second half point since week 8, you have to be the best defense in football. Am I right? This is gonna be a good one. And typically when the best defense and the best offense plays out, I think the offense tends to get the best of them, but I don't think that's gonna be the case this week. I think the 49ers and the Dolphins are going to have a good first half. It's gonna be going back and forth. It's gonna be low scoring though. And I think the final score will probably be like 28 to 23, and the 49ers win, and they get a late stop, to seal the victory. It's gonna be a good one, man. But I definitely see them beating the Dolphins. So then they go to 8-4. That Seahawks game is gonna be tricky. It's gonna be in Seattle. Seattle's gonna be playing for their playoff positioning. Gonna be playing to try to get back in that division race, because it's not gonna be wrapped up anytime soon in the NFC West. It's between these two. So Seattle's gonna definitely have to win this game. Let's see who happened earlier in the season. Yeah, they got destroyed earlier in the season in Santa Clara. So Seattle's definitely going to be playing well. And right now with Seattle, Geno Smith and the offense is not the problem. They're still putting up points in Seattle. Okay, it's really the defense. And knowing that, and I can't believe I gave the 49ers 28 points versus the Dolphins. That's crazy. But knowing that Seattle, or rather the 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo, isn't going to score a lot of points, like that 38-10 Cardinals victory was just an outrageous number. Like, they don't typically do that. Okay? And knowing that they're not going to put up a lot of points, I can see Seattle beating them because I can see them outscoring them. Okay? Again, same can be said for the Dolphins game, but I just thought that defense is going to get the better of Tua. The defense is going to be good, but every defense in the NFL, doesn't matter if you're the best defense or the worst defense, every defense is going to give up something at some point. And I think the best way Seattle can beat 49ers is if they outscore them. And they have a chance to do that. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say they actually lose to Seattle. Because Seattle's going to be at home. That crowd's going to be rocking. It's going to be Monday night or Sunday night football, whatever one. They're going to be playing for their playoff lives. I think the 49ers lose that one. I think they beat the Raiders, even though the Raiders are one of 2 straight. Or rather, let me go ahead and go over here. I skipped the game. They got the Bucks after the Dolphins. Okay. I think the Bucks probably win that game. Because, I just, same with Rodgers. I think really, it been hit me, honestly, but I think really after this week, honestly, is when I finally realized, it's real. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be in the postseason this year. Aaron Rodgers is actually not good. Now, not necessarily that he's not good, but his team's just not good. And he didn't have a really good year, and it really just hit me. It finally hit me. Yeah, that's real. And that could be the same case for Brady, but it just don't feel like it. It don't feel right. It just feels like, okay, they're going to get it right at some point. That NFC South is terrible, but I'm like, bro, it's Brady. At some point, he's going to get right, and they're going to make it to the playoffs. And they had a slip up this week versus the Browns. I don't see that being the case against the 49ers, though. I think Brady beats the 49ers. They got a nice home stand. I'm looking at their schedule. They got 3 home games in a row. Wow. They had the Saints at home this past Sunday. They got the 49ers at home this Sunday. Then they got the Bucks at home next Sunday. Wow. That's a lot of home games. But I think the Bucks take care of them. So I think that goes to what 8-4. Then you go 8-5. I think that's 8-5. And then I can see them losing to Seattle, bro. I really can. Shoot, F it. It don't really matter. I'm just go say 9. I'm just gonna say 9 and 4. Okay. I think they'll be Seahawks now, because I thought this was the next game after the Dolphins game, but I didn't see it. I think they'd be Seahawks. Then they got the Commanders. I ain't gonna predict our game or whatever, but I just gonna know that's gonna be a really good game. Then you got the Raiders and the 40 and the Cardinals. So more likely than not, you got the 49ers more likely than not probably finishing the season around. Oh, they're 8-3 now. Okay, so they're probably gonna finish. Oh no, I'm burnt. They're 7-4. That was the Dolphins. So they're probably gonna finish the season around maybe 12 wins. Okay, 12 to 11 wins, and that will probably be good enough to win the NFC West. So then the 4 seed, you got the Bucks. The Bucks, they're 5-6. As we know, the NFC South has been treacherous this year. Buccaneers, they're a rocky team. And although they're 5-6, how bad the NFC South is, they're still in first place. It's so crazy that the 4-8 Panthers are still in this thing. But again, it's Brady. I don't see a way he doesn't get into the playoffs. So let's look at their upcoming schedule. They had a slip up against the Browns, but again, my brain just won't fathom. It won't just believe that Brady is not. It is what it is. The Bucks aren't good this year. But like I said, I think they got a game versus the Saints this Monday. That's gonna be tough, as we know. The Saints always play Brady tough. And if Brady and the Bucks lose this game, then I will start to believe like, okay, it's really still open. But right now, in my opinion, I think the Bucks are still going to win this division. And all Brady is saying, all I want is in. Okay, I don't care how poor they've looked all season long. If the Bucks get in, that's all they're asking for. Okay, so with that being said, the Saints and the Bucks is a big game, and I think the Bucks win that game. Maybe if they were riding high off of a Browns victory, I could see the Saints beating them. But since they're not, I think the Bucks are going to win. I think they're tired of the Saints beating up on them anyway, and they know they need it. So I think they win that game. Go to 6-6. I think they beat the 49ers 7-6. I think they probably lose to the Bengals 7-7. I think they beat the Cardinals 8-7. I think they beat the Panthers 9-7, and I think they beat the Falcons 11 or 10-7. So I think the Bucks finish out 10-7 and win the division. Again, it just don't feel right that Brady's not gonna be in the playoffs. So I don't see it happening. And then 5th seed, you got the Dallas Cowboys, 8-3 in the on the year, and 2nd in the NFC East. Let's go ahead and pull up the Cowgirls record or schedule. So pull up the Cowboys schedule here. They got the Colts. They got the Colts this Sunday Night Football, right? This is gonna be a big game, okay? Only way I see the Colts winning this game is if they're able to run the ball efficiently all game long, and they can somehow keep this game slow scoring. They can win time of possession. Okay, they can keep Dak and that offense off the field. It's the only way, because if this offense with Tony Pollard and Zeke and Dak and CeeDee Lamb, all these guys, if it gets going, it can get ugly fast because the Colts aren't that good of a team. So they got to find a way to keep it low scoring if they want to win. But pretty much, this Cowboys schedule, it's pretty easy. And I was talking to a guy in the barbershop that's a Cowboys fan, and he's like, we probably gonna win out. And I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, that Jaguars game is gonna be tricky, bro. That Jaguar, he's like, nah, man, it's the Jaguar. I'm like, all right, but I got the Cowboys beating the Colts 9-3. Got them beating the Texans 10-3. I think they actually lose this Jaguars game. Like, if it was in Dallas, I think they probably have a chance to still lose, but I would feel more comfortable picking them to win. You know, I would see it more, but I'm telling you, I think that Jaguars game could be a tricky game for them. Okay, so that's what they're 8-3 now. That's 9-3, 10-3, and 10-4. I think they actually beat the Eagles here. That's 11-4. And depending on if Derrick Henry can run on the Texans on the Cowboys defense or not, again, they don't have much on offense. So if the running game isn't going for Derrick Henry or for Derrick Henry and the Titans, then they're not gonna win. But if it's going and they can't stop it, I can see them losing this game. But I'm gonna just go my gut and believe in my knowledge of watching this game. They're probably gonna minimize Derrick Henry's effect and more likely than not win that game. So I got the Cowboys winning that. And then this January 8th game, so bad I wanted to be against my Commanders. So bad I wanted to be us. Like, we're the 7th seed and like they're the 6th or 5th seed, and loser drops down to the 7th seed, and winner goes to the 5th seed or something, or 6th seed or something, like something crazy. As much as I would want it to be, I don't think it's going to be that. I think we're going to be trying to fight for our playoff lives, and all we got to do is win and we're in type thing going on here. And the Cowboys are probably going to be resting their players, or they could be petty and try to keep their division rival out of the playoffs. Who knows? But that game's down there is going to be a big one. But more likely than not, I got the Cowboys finishing on the season really, let's see, 9-3, 10-3, 10-4, 11-4, 12-4. I got them finishing on the season probably like 12-5. Okay, 12-5 on the season for the Cowboys. So let's see. Hey, shout out to my man Engraven Vids in here. I really do appreciate it. That's my guy. Shout out to Engraven Vids, big time, not just Ravens YouTuber, but big time NFL YouTuber. My man covers the whole league, really. You know, majority of it is his Ravens because he loves his Ravens, but he sprinkles in his NFL talk here and there, man. Love the videos. Big fan of Engraven. Shout out to my man Engraven for being on here, and good luck to your Ravens the rest of the way, man. Thank you so much for checking me out, bro. I appreciate it. Shout out to Engraven. That's crazy, man. That's tough. Shout out to you. All right, so back to it. So yeah, I got the Cowboys more likely than not finishing 12-5 on the season here. And then next you got the New York Giants. Okay, as you can see here, you got the New York Giants, and with the Giants, okay, they're starting to derail, as I said. Okay, they're starting to derail, and they are having this is like the worst time that it could be happening to them, right? Because they're 7-4, okay, and they were already not at a talented roster, okay, but you add not so talented to injuries. That's not a good combination. Okay, and again, I don't want to bash the Giants because I mean you still have to win, but when you look at every single game that they've won this year, it's been one possession. Texans game, one possession. Jags, one possession. Ravens, one possession. Seahawks, or not Seahawks, they lost. Bears, one possession. Packers, one possession. Panthers, 3 points, one possession. Okay, like I'm not bashing Titans, 1 point, one possession. You still have to win these games, and they did a good job with that the first half of the season. But I think the true colors are starting to come out about the Giants. I don't think they're that good. Okay, I think it was a Cinderella type story. I think they're well coached, but I think they're starting to come back to earth. Okay, they're starting to realize, okay, we're the Giants. This is the first year of a rebuild. We're not really supposed to be good. And I could very well see it. I'm not just saying this because they're my rival or anything like that. And I don't like the Giants because, I mean, I don't. But I could very well, and it's crazy. It's 11:30 a.m. and it's 11:30 the date. That's crazy. I caught that. Not just because they're my rival. However, I could very well see the Giants now missing the playoffs. Like, I could very well see the Giants losing the rest of their games. Do I think that happens? No. But I could see them losing the rest of their games. Like, they got a game versus the Commanders, who are 6-1 in their last 7, and statistically and currently the hottest team in the NFL. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself and use that term loosely because I understand that we're nowhere near perfect. Okay, there's teams like the Chiefs that exist. Okay, there's teams like, even the Eagles. I know the Eagles, we beat them, but they're still hot. Okay, I understand that. But Commanders, we're coming in technically the hottest team in the NFL, and hopefully we can stay that way versus the Giants. However, speaking from the Giants standpoint, that's a tough game. And then after you play them, you got another NFC East matchup versus the Eagles, which I'm more likely than not you'll lose. And then you got the Commanders again. So you play the Commanders. First of all, you play 3 division opponents in 3 weeks. But not only that, you play the Commanders 2 times in 3 weeks. Right? And after that, you play the Vikings. And then you play the Giants, and then you play the Colts, which I think you probably win. And then you play the Eagles. So out of your last 5 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games rather, because we haven't played the Commanders or we haven't played the Giants yet. However, out of your last 6 games, everybody is currently fighting for a playoff spot except for the Colts. So with that being said, you guys have a tough schedule remaining. And you combine that now with the tough schedule remaining, with the lack of weapons, the lack of health, the lack of just overall talent. It's not looking good for the Giants. Now, I'm not sitting up here and saying that they can't do it, because I mean they've been winning pretty much the early parts of the year, but again, I don't see it. I don't see it. And with that being said, I think they lose to the Eagles. I think they lose to the Vikings. I think they lose to the Eagles again, and I think they beat the Colts. So I think I have the Giants probably finishing the season probably like 8-9. Okay, I think they finished the season probably 8-9, and that's saying a lot because that they are 7-4 right now. So that means I have them only winning one more game on the year, and that's a very realistic take. Okay, and then now you got sitting in the 7th seed right now, as you can currently see. You got the Washington Commanders. I don't know why the logos aren't coming up here, but you got the Washington Commanders currently sitting in the 7th seed. Let's go ahead and take a look. See, as you can see, Commanders are sitting in the 7th seed if you're watching live. And let's go ahead, even though I know my Commander is scheduled by heart, we're going to just do it visually so people can see. Commanders, 4th in the NFC East. And this upcoming game versus the Giants is a big game, okay? I'm nervous for it, okay? Because I know the Giants aren't going to be an easy out. I just said all that about the Giants, but they're still going to fight for their playoff lives. They're not going to go like that. It's an NFC East game. It's in the Meadowlands, which we don't really play well in. It's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. Okay, I think we're up for the challenge. I think we can very well get it done, but it's not going to be easy. Okay, and we got to come on our P's and Q's. So that's a very winnable game for the Commanders. And you take that into, as you can see, we don't play against December 18th because we have a bye week. We finally have our bye week. I think we have the latest bye week in NFL. A week 14 bye, and that couldn't have come at the right time because whether Chase Young plays this week or not, he's for sure going to play on the second Giants game. Okay, you give him an extra week to heal up. Benjamin St. Juice gets an extra week to heal up because I don't think we should play Juice this week. You finally get a chance to get away and rejuvenate and relax for a week, and then it's right back to work against the same Giants team, and that's tricky. Because whether we win or not the first matchup, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be even more tricky the second matchup because they already seen you. They know how you play, okay? So it's that both of these are going to be tough matchups. But I can definitely see the Commanders pulling out both. And then you got the 49ers game here. That's going to be a tough one. Again, that's a team that's playing really good ball on the defensive side of the ball. Offense is just doing enough. And this is a team that hasn't allowed a second half point since week 8. So that is very scary. So you do that, and then after that, you got the Browns. And now this is the Deshaun Watson-led Browns team. And you know he's going to be playing because they want to give him reps and get him repped up for probably next year at that point. So I can definitely see us losing that game, the 49 Browns game. But let's just hope not. Let's hope not. And then I got the Cowboys game at the end, and I think Washington can win that game too. Just because, for the simple fact, I don't think the Cowboys will be playing for much. I think they're already going to have their playoff berth locked up. They're going to be resting. So Washington has a very favorable schedule down the last 6 games of their season. And realistically, I'm not being biased. I know that's my team, but realistically, I have them probably finishing 11-6. Okay, as great as it would be to finish 12-5, meaning we didn't lose a single game. Come on, it's the NFL. I know my team. I know at some point, hopefully I'm wrong, but I know at some point we're gonna have a slip up. But let's just hope it's just one. And we're 11-6 at the end of the year, and we're in the playoffs. Okay, so that's the 7th seeds. Now let's look at the people that are currently on the bubble. You got Seattle. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. We're only going to do Seattle and probably Atlanta, just because those are the two teams that are still in the jockeying for their divisions. Lions, as good as they're playing, I don't think they'll have any say in a wild card. Packers are done, as we know. Carolina, we can look at Carolinas. We can look at Carolinas because they still in jogging for that NFC South, and we can look at the Saints. But let's go ahead and take a look at the first team that's on the bubble, and that's Seattle. And yeah, they can very well still get a wild card spot, but more likely than not, Seattle is going to try to get in by winning their division. So they're currently 6-5, and second in the West. They got a big game this weekend versus the Rams. Okay, the Rams are bad, and we know that this year. They're very banged up. They're not that good. However, it's still an NFC West game. Okay, division game, family business. I don't know who's starting that quarterback for them. I don't know if it's Perkins. I don't know if it's Wolford. I don't know if it's Stafford. But I think Seattle gets it done. I think they put up enough points to beat the Rams. That's 7-5. I think that Panthers game could definitely be tricky. That's why the Panthers are frustrating to watch, because it's like 1 week they show no life, and then the next week they come back and beat teams, one that you don't think they're going to beat, and then it's the fashion they beat them. It's very frustrating if I was a Panthers fan. Gladly I'm not. But I could definitely see the Panthers probably sneaking this one out. But I'm actually gonna say the Panthers win that one. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say the Panthers win that one. So they're currently 7-6. I think they lose to the 49ers, and the 49ers complete the season sweep, even though I know that could be a tough one. And I don't know. I think I said for the 49ers, but I think I said I had the 49ers winning that one. I think I did. But if I did, now I'm changing it. I got them winning that one. Then they complete the season sweep of the Seahawks. So now the Seahawks are currently 7-5, 6, 7. I think they lose to the Chiefs 7-8. I think they could probably beat the Jets 7-8. But knowing the Jets, I don't know who's gonna be quarterbacking for them. I don't know if the Mike White hype is real. I don't want to buy into the Mike White or the Mike White hype, and then it doesn't turn out to be anything. So 7-8 right now for the Seahawks, and then they finish out with the Rams, and I think they beat the Rams. I think Seattle probably finished the season 9-8. I don't see them. I really don't see them winning too many more games, but I think they finished the season out 9-8. And who knows? Maybe that's good enough for the 7th seed. Maybe Washington goes up to the 6th seed and knock the Giants out completely out the playoffs, and Seattle gets that 7th seed, because the 49ers are just too good, really. And I don't see Seattle getting back the crown for the NFC West. So that's that. And then now you go to the Falcons, who is a team that is dangerous. Okay, although they're 5-7, they're still in contention for the NFC South, and that's pretty much what they're really still in contention for. They're 2 games out of a wild card spot sitting here currently, but knowing that other teams ahead of them are probably going to continue to win, they're really only in contention for the NFC South. And I'll start by saying this: I don't see them winning the NFC South again. I think the Bucs are going to get it done. However, you never know. They got the Steelers this Sunday. The Steelers are coming off of a win versus the Colts, and that is the best I've seen Kenny Pickett look all year. So for the young fella, he may be able to continue that. He may actually be able to continue that. The Falcons is a defense that you can definitely pass on. Okay? You can pass on them. Running the ball is another thing that you can do on them too. Najee Harris, whether he plays or not, because I think he did get a little bit banged up in that Monday Night Football game. Whether he plays or not, I think they still can have success on the ground with Benny Snell. Okay, so I think the Steelers actually win this game. Falcons go to 5-8, and if the Falcons pretty much lose this game, their playoff chances are probably shot at that point. I think they beat the Saints. I think they lose to the Ravens. I think they beat the Cardinals, and I think they lose to the Bucks. So again, I have them winning. How many more games I have them winning? I have them beating the Saints, beating the Cardinals. So that's 2 more stuff. I have them finishing 7-10, and quite frankly, that's probably where they belong. And we can do the Panthers now, because again, the Panthers is a tricky team because they have a really good defense, but it's just like, what are they going to get from the offense? We can do these last 2 teams, Panthers and Saints. So Panthers, okay, they got the Seahawks this Sunday, and like I said, this is gonna be a tough game. I can see both teams winning this one, and I actually picked the Panthers to win that game. Steve Wilkes has done an okay job with the Panthers, and I got them beating Seattle. Okay, I think they beat the Steelers too. Actually, I really do. I think they beat the Steelers. And then now they're 6-8. I think they they got a favorable schedule. Oh, I didn't even know that for Carolina. Okay, so look, even though I still think Tampa Bay wins the division, the 4-8 Panthers that are currently in 3rd place right now has a favorable schedule, and they already beat the Bucks one time this year, only held on to 3 points. Shoot, who's to say they can't do it again? Right? I think they beat Seattle. I think they beat Pittsburgh. And again, Detroit is playing really good football right now, but it's not leading the wins. That's a tough one right there. Because they're playing really good football. I don't know what they expect from the Panthers offense. I don't know who's going to be quarterbacking for them. So I don't know what to expect from their offense. However, I know their defense is going to show up week in and week out. So they're 5-8 right there, 6-8. Snap. I'm gonna say they lose to the Lions, 6-9. Did I already pick the Bucks to win that? I think they went out, right? So I'm gonna change that. I think they go on a hot streak. I think they beat the Seahawks, then they beat the Panthers, the Steelers, then they beat the Lions. So now they're 7-8. They're riding high. I think they lose to the Bucks 7-9, and I think they beat the Saints 8-9. I think they finish the season probably 8-9, and that's good considering the fact of where they think they thought this team was going to be a month ago when they fired Matt Rule. Now, I don't know how good they want that. I don't know how happy Carolina fans would be about that, because they want to get a top quarterback. They want to get a Bryce Young, a CJ Stroud, or the guy from I think UCLA, Dorian Thompson or something like that. I don't know how happy Panthers fans would be, but that's how I can see it playing out. And also can see it playing out another way too, where they just lose, right? But I'm being honest. This just goes to show you that anybody in the NFC can do something, right? Alrighty, so the last team that's really in contention for the NFC South, and then we'll switch to the next segment. Y'all already know what it is. It's shout-out segments. So get y'all comments riled up so I can get y'all a shout-out, answer any questions that you may have. All right, this Sunday versus the Falcons. I think the Falcons beat them. I think the Browns beat them. Deshaun Watson, he's going to have a game under his belt or by that time. Or no, sorry. I think the Bucks beat them. I think the Falcons beat them. I think the Browns beat them. I think the Eagles beat them. And I think the Panthers beat them. So I ain't gonna lie. I think the Saints lose out. I think they go 4-13, and yeah, they're trash. I ain't even mean to be like that, but they don't have no quarterback. They're bad. Okay, where's Michael Thomas? Is he hurt again? Haven't seen him since like the beginning of the year, but whatever. 4-13 for the Panthers or for the Saints, and that's the end of really all the teams that have a shot. And what have you learned from this whole exercise is that anybody can compete in the NFC that's still reasonably alive. Okay, anybody, if you get it, my Commanders, even though they're 7th seed, they could very well take the 2 seed Vikings. They could take the 1 seed Eagles. Like anybody that gets in the playoffs and the dance in the NFC can very well make it to the NFC Championship. Now, I don't know about who can they beat when we cross conferences and go to the AFC and the Super Bowl and that, but I know if my Commanders make it to the championship game, they could win. I know, shoot, even the Giants. If the Giants were to make it in, I know they could probably. Well, I take that back. I don't think the Giants have the talent enough to make it to the championship game, but I know they could probably win a playoff game. Cowboys, obviously, they're a good team. They're one of the better teams in football. They can make it to the NFC Championship. Even the Bucks, even though how bad the Bucks have been, again, like I told you, it's Tom Brady, the best quarterback ever to grace the earth, 7 rings. He just wants in. If he gets in the playoffs, it's dangerous. They can make it to the championship game. The 49ers can make it to the championship game. The Vikings, obviously, and the Eagles, obviously, right? So anybody in the NFC can make it to the playoffs. So that's what I hope you guys learned from this exercise. Now, let's go ahead and transition to, as I bring myself back on the screen, let's go ahead and transition to the next segment here. Shout out segment. So get your comments riled up as we'll go through these shout outs and then we'll get out of here. Let's start from the top. Who else is it new? My guy, Alante, with the first comment. Seems like he always gets the first comment. Shout out to my guy, Alante, man. He says, get my guy to 5K. You already know. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, man. Get me to 5,000 subscribers. We're ever so close. Let's go ahead and see where we're at right now. I think last time I checked, we were at 4.895. We're 5 subs away from 4.9K. We can get to 5K very soon. Let's go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you, Alante. Shout out to Alante. I appreciate you for listening to the top of the morning. Donnell Jenkins, I appreciate you for listening to the top of the morning show. Donnell says, I'm not giving up on the 1 seed. We just need the Eagles to lose 1 game before we play them. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see y'all possibly getting that 1 seed. Now that you say that, right? Could that Week 18 matchup be for that? Like, could Washington already be in the playoffs, right? Y'all are already in the playoffs, obviously, at the 5 seed. We're already in the playoffs, the 7 seed or the 6 seed. And both teams are going to get in regardless. But could that last Week 18 game be for y'all to get that 1 seed? Who knows? Yeah, y'all definitely still have a chance to get that 1 seed. Big 7422, I appreciate you for listening to the top of the morning show. Shout out to Big 7. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Big Simple. My guy. Dr. Jenkins says, can Sauce do to Jefferson what Diggs did to him? Who knows? Sauce has been having a really, really good year, and that's definitely a possibility, but we'll see. Engraving Vids. Shout out to my guy, Engraving Vids again. Big time YouTuber. My man is almost at 60K. I wonder if he already hit 60K. I wonder if he did. Let me go ahead and check that out. See if my man Engraving already hit 60,000 subscribers over there. Good Ravens content. Good NFL content overall. Let's go ahead and see if the pioneer and captain of Team Keep It Clean hit 60K yet. But I appreciate you. He says 5K coming up real soon, my boy. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Hopefully, I can hit that 5K soon and continue to knock down these milestones, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next comment. Let's just go ahead and see. So he's still at 59.9. Make sure you guys go over there if you don't know about my man Engraving, which I know some of y'all probably do. If you don't, though, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for my guy, man. Get him to 60,000. He's so close to it. Shout out to Engraving. All right. Brian Harden says, Giants schedule. I appreciate you, BH, for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, Giants schedule is a meat grinder. Yeah, that's why it's very tough. That's why I'm not being biased when I say I could very well see the Giants probably winning just one more game, if that. I can also see them losing out. You tell that to a Giants fan, they're not going to believe that. Keith Flowers, I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. Keith Flowers says HTTC. Keith Flowers, thank you. Shout out to you. Hail to the Commanders. Awesomeness Sports. What's going on, Awesomeness Sports? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. Awesomeness Sports says, what's up, Juan? What's up, Awesomeness Sports? Make sure y'all go check out Awesomeness Sports. L33 Reacts. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, what's up? What's up? Leon Reunion. What's going on, Leon Reunion? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. He says, do you think the Washington Commanders will win this Sunday? Do you think that Washington will win this Sunday? We'll save the prediction for the prediction video, but I think we have a good chance to win. I do. Big Simple says, awesomeness, we lit. Randy McIntosh. What's going on, Randy McIntosh? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. Appreciate you. He says, hail to the Redskins. Commanders were coming. G-Men. Yes, we are. Shout out to you, Randy. Appreciate you for being here. Super Chef. Appreciate you, Super Chef, for being here listening to the Top of the Morning Show. He says the 49ers get on my nerves. They're not even that good. That defense, though, okay? That defense of the 49ers is that good. Their offense may not be that good, but that defense is good. It's arguably, if not, the best defense in the NFL. Did you hear what I just said earlier? They haven't allowed a second half point since week 8. Hopefully, we're the team to break that, but they're definitely legit on the defense side of our at least. Super Chef says, we're just a quarterback away from being elite. I definitely agree. I agree with that. But it takes heart more than talent these days because we are due a winning season, bro. Yeah, okay. I agree too, Super Chef. Definitely. We're due for a winning season. Jado! What's good, Jado? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Jado says, what's up, Juan? What's up, Jado? Chris on the beat. What's up, Chris on the beat? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. He says, quote, shots hit his head, ring his bell like a alarm. Hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the outro song, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. I appreciate you. He says, what's good, Juan? What's going on, Chris on the beat? Appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Keith Flower says, why not the 5 seed, the 5th seed? I don't know. I mean, it's not out of reach, but you would definitely have to have a lot go right for us and a lot go wrong for teams like the Cowboys and Eagles, which would be amazing. However, I don't want to sound scary or anything, but like more likely than not, that 4 seed is going to be the Bucks. And I don't care how poor they've been this season, I don't want to see the Bucks the first round. Being honest, so I honestly would prefer us to stay in this 6th to 7th range. I would much rather have to play the Vikings or the 49ers again, to be honest. I don't want to see Brady in the first round. Okay, maybe the division round after we already got a game under our belt, or even the conference round. I definitely would prefer to see that. And Keith Flowers says, keep doing your thing, bro. I work at night, so I miss you live, but I checked out your streams later. Alrighty, Keith Flowers, I appreciate you, Brody, for being here. And yeah, go ahead and get some rest, man. I know you work the late night shifts. Go ahead and get some rest, man, and check me out later. I'll be up here on YouTube. And Big Simple is going to take us out with the last comment of the day. He says, left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. So appreciate y'all for listening to Top of the Morning Show episode 11. Please share it out. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And turn on post notifications so you get notified when new content is posted to the channel. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. And in honor of my man Chris on the beat, we're going to go out like this. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you popped. Get you popped.